guys, today we're going to be doing a Pilates sequence to work on our legs, specifically the thighs, the inner and outer thighs, to kind of wrap those muscles around and get everything tightened up. We're going to start out with the feet together and just doing a little warm-up, bringing the hands onto the hips. Draw the lower belly in, make sure that shoulder blades are down your back. We're just going to do a little raise up onto the toes and down. Now as you come up onto the toes, squeeze the legs together. Think about drawing the inner thighs up. Try to keep the heels touching. So big toes are touching, heels are touching. Every once in a while you might lose your balance and the legs kind of go out to the sides, but try to keep everything pulled in toward the center. Go nice and slow. Control is always the most important thing when you're doing Pilates. And then we want to use our breath, so we're going to exhale to push up, slow inhale to lower yourself down. As you take that inhale and lift up, feel that expansion through the chest, nice and full through the lungs. We'll take one more nice and slow. Inhale up, squeeze the legs together, and then come down. Now we're going to send the toes out to the sides. A little lift up. Now this time the legs aren't going to touch, there's going to be space in between. We're kind of hugging in the outer thighs, and then lower yourself down. Exhale, press up. Inhale, lower down. And while you're coming up and down like this, try to squeeze your butt too so that you get a little bit of work back there. And you're keeping everything stable in the pelvis. You're trying to keep the lower abs pulled in to give yourself that good center of gravity. And always try to keep your posture in the upper body. You're going to get more out of it if you keep that length through your body, if you keep that reach up through the crown of the head. All right, one more lift. And lower down. Then we're going to take the toes and angle them in. Make sure that that rotation is coming from your hips. You're rolling the thighs in toward the middle, and make sure that your knees are okay. So if this bothers your knees, keep your feet facing straight ahead. We're going to do that same thing. Lift up onto the toes and slowly lower down. A little bit harder this way. Thinking about staying with your breath and thinking about keeping that good posture, using the stability from your core. Sometimes it actually helps to kind of bring your hands onto your belly and feel that everything is pulling in toward the middle. All right, one more time this way. Lower down, and then we're going to come back into the middle, pressing the insides of the legs together. So we're going to lift up, drop the heels, and then a little bend in the knees. Press back up to middle, press the legs together, lift onto the toes, lower down, little squat. Up, lift, lower, sink into the hips. Making sure that you move slowly. So if you try and rush through the movement, it's going to seem like it's a little bit easier. And of course that's not what we want, because then you're not getting the best work in your muscles. You're not using that control and precision that we always strive for. Okay, let's do one more lift. Lower the heels, sink the hips down, lift back up. Open the toes up to the sides. Hug the insides of the legs together, and then same thing here. We're going to lift up onto the toes, lower the heels, a little squat down. This time the knees are going to open out to the sides. Hug back up into the middle, lift, lower, and squat. Making sure that with all of these different movements that your knees are okay. We don't want to put any stress or sensation in the knee joint. We really want to feel this in the thighs, in the hips. Make sure that all the sensation is in the muscle instead of in the joint. All right, let's take one more like this. We lift, we lower the heels, take our little squat, Come back up to center, and then let's roll the toes in. Checking your posture, coming up onto the toes. Drop the heels down, little bend, back up, lift. So you won't come down quite as far on this one because your knees kind of knock together, but we're still getting that work in the outer thighs. And especially as you come down into your squat, make sure that you maintain that posture in your upper body. Don't collapse down into your squat. And use that support of the lower belly so that you don't feel any strain in your back. Okay, back up. Now we're going to do one more here. We're going to switch the feet so that they are turned out. Heels are touching, inner thighs are hugging in toward each other. And then we're going to do little jumps. So we're going to squat down, little jump up. Okay, squat down, little jump. When you come down, make sure you do a soft landing and open the knees out to the sides. And then one more. Okay, come back up. We're going to bring the feet a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. Angle the toes out, draw the heels in. Lower yourself down into a little squat. And then come back up. Just a couple squats here. You can take the arms out to the sides. Make sure that the shoulders are rolled back, the neck is long. Then we're going to come down and pulse for 10. Lift it back up. Okay, now send the feet just a little bit wider. Make it a good challenging stance. Keep those toes angled out, heels are in. We're going to sink down a little deeper into our squat. As you're holding this, make sure that the knees open out to the sides. You want to keep the knees over the top of the ankles, over the heels, so that we don't start to let the knees flop in toward the middle. If that starts to happen, shorten your stance a little bit. Okay, we press ourselves up, straighten the legs, and then sink down. Make sure that as you lower down, you're sending the knees out wide. Okay, one more. Sinking nice and low, lifting yourself up. Now this time we're going to sink down. And we are going to do a little alternating movement with the feet. We're going to lift up onto one toe, lift up onto the other toe, hold it for a second, drop that side down, drop the other side down. Now going the other way, lift this toe up, lift that toe up, drop that one, drop that one. So back and forth, up, up, down, down, and then other side, up, up, down, down. Okay, so back and forth like that. Make sure you keep your squat low. And you are going to start to feel that burning in the thighs. And try to go slowly as you lift the heel up, hold it, keep your balance, lower it down slowly. Sink down, lift one heel up, lift the other heel up, and hold. Keep your deep breath. And then slowly lower, lift yourself up. Give a little massage to the thighs. Okay, we're going to turn the toes toward the front of the room now, and you're going to draw yourself up to stand on one side. Take a little lift up onto the toes. Squat yourself down, Come back up, open out into that wide stance, sink down, up, over to the other side, lift, lower, lift, and open. Get down nice and low. Bring yourself up to the other side. And up, down, and open. Make sure you come low in the middle. Draw the leg in and hug the inner thighs together before you go into that lift and squat. Slide the foot in, down and up. Open, come down nice and slow. Try to control that movement as you come down. Slide the opposite foot in, hug the legs together, down and up. So one more time to the other side. We sink low, slide the toe in, down and up. All right, and then I'm going to come over to the side. We'll start out with the legs together. We're going to lift up onto the toes. Take your arms up, get nice and long. Take a slow exhale. So I'm staying up on my toes, and I'm lowering, lowering. Coming all the way down into a toe balance. Now this is another one. Check with your knees. If your knees aren't happy here, stay up. Okay, drop your hands down. We're going to straighten the legs but stay up on the toes. Like you're in a forward bend but lift it up onto the ball of the foot. And then lower back down into that toe balance. Keep the thighs parallel to the floor. Forward bend. And low squat. So alternating back and forth. Keep the legs really active. I like this one because when we come forward, we get a nice little stretch in the hamstrings. You can drop the head down. And then as you make that transition, it's really in the transition that you're getting the work in the legs. Okay, one more. Send the hips up nice and high. Reach up with the tailbone. Feel that length through the legs. Slowly come down. This time as we go up, we're going to lift one leg. So up, right leg sweeps up. Stay up on the ball of the left foot. Fold that leg in. Lower down. And then other side. Left leg comes up. Stay high in the right foot. Lower it down. Sink into your squat. So one more time like that each side. Lift. Right leg comes up. Slowly lower it. Make your way back down. And sweep the left leg up. Fold the left leg in. Drop down into your low squat. Okay, bring the arms out in front. Find your balancing point. Keep the legs close.